Hello, D491 here. So this is going to be sort of an update video to my reaction and analysis of the Microsoft Flight Simulator announcement trailer. There's been a few comments made by some of the key third-party developers who have been part of flight simulation for many years now. There's some interesting comments that I wanted to kind of share and get the word out amongst the wider community, because there's some very telling information in there that I think is very important that people know about. And before anyone says, yes, I do still have a blocked nose, I got lots of issues, not enough tissues. Way! Anyway, let's continue. So, the first comment that the first announcement I'm gonna be talking about is from PMDG, who make some of the highest quality commercial aircraft add-ons for both FSX prepared, and also they've done one for X-Plane as well. So the announcement was made on the PMDG forums, and I'm going to put a link in the description below if you want to read it in full. The announcement was made by former Captain Robert Randazzo, one of the founders of PMDG, and the post is quite a quite a lengthy one, as you can see here. But let me just go through the key points. So, as of writing, PMDG knows the following facts based upon published information and direct intelligence gathering. Sounds very, very interesting, that does. Let's see. So, Microsoft has been developing a new title to release using the Microsoft Flight Sim name. Yeah, we all know that. This title and effort to develop it have been kept under wraps for some time. Very interesting. We'll come to that in a minute. None of the firms with which we are in contact have or have had any direct discussion with Microsoft about this title. Very interesting. We'll come back to that later on. There were some rumours about this title, but they evaporated. Okay, not too important. So, based upon history, we know in 2005, Microsoft began to explore how to monetize the add-on market, multiple leadership and culture changes. Microsoft Flight was the ultimate effort by Microsoft to monetize the secondary market by forcing developers such as PMDG to work solely through their marketplace. Interesting. Microsoft Flight ultimately failed because it missed the core of the sim marketplace. Now, this is where it starts getting very interesting in this announcement. PMDG was involved in an effort to purchase the rights to continue developing the core of Microsoft Flight Sim along with some partners. This effort failed in favour of Dovetail. Now, anyone who follows flight simulation sort of in depth will probably have known that already, but as I said, there might be a wider audience that didn't know that, so that's quite an interesting revelation to some people maybe. Oh, and now it gets very juicy. So, we learned during this effort that Microsoft would insist that it had the right to recapture any development done within their core code. Ooh, interesting. If they would decide to re-enter the marketplace, this made the purchase untenable to us, as it meant that Microsoft would always have a leg up to compete with us using our own work. Dovetail eventually tried to approach the market with the same one-off business model, and we all know what happened with Dovetail Games and Flight Sim World. And then the post goes on to say that PMDG is going to be taking a wait-and-see approach, so we simply do not have sufficient information to allow a smart business decision to be made. So until we start getting official announcements from either Microsoft or we get official confirmation from some of these developers that they are working with Microsoft, we just simply don't know. As PMDG, we don't know the facts of what the simulator is, what features it will contain, and what type of business model it's employing, and how it's going to be released to the market. And then Mr. Randazzo finishes off with a slightly derogatory sort of opinion about the release, and it's slightly derogatory towards flight simmers. Mr. Randazzo, with all due respect, a lot of simmers don't have the experience and certainly the business perspective that you have had dealing with Microsoft, so please just cut us a little bit of slack. Thank you. Anyway, so that's PMDG's perspective and an official announcement on the release of Microsoft's Flight Simulator. And there's been a couple of other key players in the flight sim developer sort of space that have echoed, there's certainly one other that's echoed that sort of sentiment. So there's also been an official slightly official but not widely publicized post by a key player at Orbx. Orbx being a high quality scenery developer for flight simulators. So one of their CEO, in fact, Mr. John Venema, put a forum post up on the official Orbx forums saying Orbx is not involved. Microsoft have not reached out to us. They did a good job keeping it secret. We have no more information in the trailer and press release. We don't know if there is a software development kit or other third-party support. We don't know who they partnered with for content, certainly not us. This does not change our product plans at all. Remember Microsoft Flight. I hope Microsoft learned from that experience. Be Windows 10, then maybe Xbox later. 2020 could mean any time in 2020. So there's another fairly prominent company or fairly prominent developer stating that they had no idea that this simulator was going to be released, and they certainly have not been contacted by Microsoft or been in contact with Microsoft to discuss development plans or possible avenues for development further down the road. Now, there is another company who have put out an announcement, again officially on their forums. However, this one has drawn up a bit more speculation, and not without reason. So, Mathis Koch here from the Aerosoft forums has put up a post on a now locked forum post. And by the way, I'll put a link to all of these forum posts in the description below so you can have a look through the forum threads yourself. And he says, we have absolutely nothing to comment or say about this. Sorry. Now, a lot of people have taken this and said, because a lot of people have been putting two and two together, so those of you who have got keen eyes in the trailer would have spotted that every aircraft had this AS-MGS registration on it. So you can see there's a couple of screenshots here of the Diamond, the Boeing, the Airbus, the TBM there, and the the Cap 10 that was this aircraft. Thank you to everyone who pointed that out in the last video. And this is certainly not a standardized aircraft registration in real world flying. So a lot of people have been saying, is this possibly represent Aerosoft-Microsoft Game Studios? As you can see here, this poster, John Kund, what does MGS stands for? Microsoft Game Studios, possibly Active Sky or Aerosoft. So a lot of people have been putting two together, and also with this now just flat, straight up, we're not going to comment about this. A lot of people have been wondering and speculating, only speculating, this is not a fact, that Aerosoft are under some form of non-disclosure agreements with Microsoft. So a lot of people, as I said, think that Aerosoft might have been working with Microsoft to some extent. Again, nothing is officially announced, nothing is confirmed as true. This is all just kind of speculation on the part of Aerosoft. So so some of the key takeaways from these announcements. It's quite clear, and certainly from the community reaction as well, it's quite clear that Microsoft really have tried their best to keep this under wraps, as PMDG and Orbx have alluded to. I don't think anyone sort of outside of Microsoft and the development team really knew that this was gonna happen. Now, one of the key things that I did want to come back to was this comment about let's see. Yeah, these two comments here about PMDG were involved in an effort to purchase the rights, and this effort failed in favor of Dovetail. So we know that Dovetail Games tried to bring a new flight simulator to the marketplace under the guise of Flight Sim World. And this next comment is the one that really, really interests me. So we learned during this effort that Microsoft would insist that it had the right to recapture any development done with their core code if they were to decide to re-enter the marketplace. So I read that, and my first thought, again, this is completely speculation. There's not been any official announcement from Microsoft or Dovetail that I've been able to find, so this is just speculation on my part. But I believe that this sort of information would go some way to describing why Flight Sim World was cancelled so suddenly, and the development. Because Dovetail, I stand by my initial criticisms that the product was of a poor quality when it was initially released, but credit where it's due, Dovetail were rolling out frequent updates to improve the simulator. And yeah, I believe they had updates planned, and they were promising new features and new updates. And then all of a sudden, the simulator or development got stopped quite suddenly, and it was a very short amount of time between Dovetail announcing that we're going to stop developing to Dovetail taking the game or the simulator off the market completely. And my first thought was, did Microsoft go back to Dovetail and say, actually, stop what you're doing. We want all of this back, because we want to take this back and develop Flight Sim ourselves. So an interesting thought. Again, as I said, I just want to confirm again that that's complete speculation on my part. I have absolutely no information to support that whatsoever, ever. But it's just an idea that I wanted to throw out there. Anyway, hopefully, this gives you guys a bit more information, a bit more insight. Again, this is not a video to say that, oh my god, Microsoft are gonna lock down development. They're gonna lock out third-party developers. It's again, we just don't know what's gonna happen or what shape this new Microsoft Flight Simulator is gonna take until Microsoft start making some official announcements, or key staff within the Microsoft Flight Sim development team start making official announcements, or once we start getting some official announcements from some of these other companies to say that actually, yes, we have been working with Microsoft and this is what we've been working on with them. So the best source of information that I could suggest would be to go to the official game website. So this will be xbox.com Microsoft Flight Simulator, and you can sign up to become an insider, where you can sign up to the Flight Simulator newsletter. I would imagine that would be the primary source for getting information about the new Flight Sim and some of the features that it may or may not contain, and what shape the simulator is going to take. That said, I want to hear what you guys and girls think about this. Is this new information to you? Is this stuff you knew already? If you've got any thoughts or anything that you want to add, please do comment below. I do try to read and respond to every comment, so if you want to have a discussion about it in the comments below, please do so. I'll be more than happy to reply to any comments. If you like this video, if it gave you a bit of insight and a bit of information that you might not have known about, please do consider giving the video a like and even subscribing to my channel if you want to see some more flight sim related content and or just general aviation content here on this channel as well. I'm doing a bit of real world private pilot's license or PPL training as well, so if you want to join me on that journey, feel free to do so. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there for now, so until the next time, thank you all very much for watching, take care out there, and I will catch you all later.